There's so much to be said. We're gonna take our time. We're gonna change.
Hello, this is Katherine Waddell, and this week on This Needs to Be Said TV, we're going to talk finances and community. I wanted to let you know what to expect as you spend the next 59 minutes with us. Take notes, please, because it's kind of like life is giving you a bit of a lesson. Let's take some notes, because there are going to be some things I am so certain that you're going to walk away from this show saying, I didn't know that. And that's our job, to give you things that you didn't know and help you improve your life. We're going to expose the elephants in the room, in your finances and in the community. Enjoy the show. I want to talk about living your passion. I was going to say living your dream, but living your passion is so much different than your dream. You could dream of being a billionaire by any means necessary, but your passion could be cleaning. Your passion could be painting the outsides of houses. Your passion could be doing yard work or making flowers grow or doing hair or being a friend to someone who is lonely. So that may be what your passion is. How do you make money with your passion? Well, usually when a person's living out their passion, they do not care about the money because things are going to get taken care of regardless. And I was going through a list of topics today, and I had someone to get laid off a job today, had someone having to look for a new place to live today, and someone says, hey, I'm struggling with living my passion. I have a very lucrative job, and this person enjoys the money, enjoys what that money affords them, but they really want to live their passion. And of course, you know, you get used to a certain lifestyle. You do not want to downgrade if at all possible. Well, my advice to anybody who wants to live out their dream or their passion, I want to say passion, live out your passion, do it, because the peace of mind, the peace in your spirit that you'll get will be so much more worth than any paycheck that you could get. And what I've learned over this last year by living out my passion is all the stuff I thought I needed were really just wants. There are some days that I may not have what I want to eat, may not have as much as I would like to eat. I still have a roof over my head. I may not have the mode of transportation that I'd like to have. I may not be able to buy the clothes that I'd like to buy, but all of those are wants. I am a pretty healthy, plump young lady, and I haven't missed too many meals, or if I have, you can't tell. I have had an awesome support group, and what you'll realize is when your passion seeps through, when you're living your passion, it comes out, and other people want to support that. Now you're going to have people who come along and tell you all the reasons why you can't do that. That's one thing. On the other hand, you're going to have some people that, because of the energy that you put out, because of the passionate way that you are now living life, and it seems like you're just risky. You're not risky, you're passionate. People are going to be drawn to that, and you have to figure out what to do with that, because people will pull your energy sometimes and drain you without refilling you, because they're not yet at the point of living their passion, so they're living vicariously through you, and after a while you can't carry the weight of everybody. So what you do in turn is show them how to do what you're doing, so it lightens the load, and as they're infused, then you start getting that energy. Then you start branching out to other people who are living their dream, living their passion, making what they do work for them. Even a person who's doing something that is financially lucrative, and it may not be exactly what their gift or their passion is, but they know how to make that lemon the biggest, best gallon or pitcher of lemonade. You can get a positive energy from that. Not everybody can do that. That in itself is a gift. So get around people that you say, that person's positive. Watch people, read books. It's going to come to me in a bit, and I know if you know who I'm talking, Les Brown. Les Brown is a great one to listen to. And if you are in the Charlotte area, or if you're able to get on Ustream and listen to Pastor Juan Goodson at Restoration Ministries, I enjoy my pastor because he talks to you in everyday talk, and he sees stuff in you sometimes, all the time, that you don't see in yourself, and challenges you. And challenging sometimes isn't a nice warm fuzzy feeling. Challenging is, I want to hurt somebody, leave me alone, get off my back already. But he's pushing you to greatness. But if you don't have someone personally in your life, people like Les Brown, Napoleon Hill, any of his books, I think he has one about the laws of success, and the one that I've been reading for the last year, slowly but surely taking it in, is Think and Grow Rich. And I'm sure many people have heard of it in some way or another. One of the things in the book Napoleon talks about is having a definite purpose. And when you're living out your passion, you can do a lot of things. Let me give you an example. I had a cleaning service a few years ago. Well, it ended up being a cleaning service. It started out as a mommy helper business, and it could have been anything from running errands for the mom, cooking meals, doing laundry, cleaning the house, of course. Anything that would give her an extra set of hands and give her more time in her day. Excellent idea. If you love it, you're passionate about it, go do that idea. What I ran into is I was dividing myself in too many ways. So what ended up happening is I was doing a cleaning service. So through my cleaning service, I began to learn what I needed to know about business in general. Don't spread yourself so thin. I can't run errands, cook meals, and clean house for several different clients. Pick one thing, focus on that, because at some point you're going to need to multiply your efforts through getting other people to do what you do. So don't spread yourself too thin. You might say, oh, I'm good at baking things. That's great. You don't have to do cakes and cookies and cinnamon rolls. Pick one thing. Pick one thing at first. Be excellent at that. Be known for Mrs. Smith's cakes. Whatever it is that you're doing, pick that one area and focus on it. Make it the best. Because what happens is you love what you're doing so much, you're so passionate about it, that by the time you get home, you don't have anything left for your family. The conference I went to on Saturday, the lady said she outsourced her kids sometimes. And, you know, at first I was like, outsourcing your kids? You're thinking about outsourcing work with companies. Well, outsourcing your kids, you put them in the trusted hands of someone else, or they have to sit with you and do their homework while you're doing work, or you have someone that's a nanny in your home. Get help for what you're doing, because if you do not take care of your business, it will not take care of you. And this is my quote for today. The difference between a successful business owner and an unsuccessful business owner is how much time that is spent minding your business. Personal for me, I spent a lot of time at my son's school, which is something I wasn't able to do with my older two children. So I love that. Love being involved with the school. Love being able to show my face at the school. My son comes home and says, Mommy, I love seeing you at the school. That's a big part. But I didn't find the balance because I was spending a lot of time at school, not enough time on my business. So, and when I look at it at the end of the day, I'm saying, why am I not where I need to be? Because I've set goals. I haven't reached this goal yet. It wasn't difficult. It was baby steps. What happened? I wasn't minding my business. I wasn't doing a good job with that. Now, the service that I was providing was good, but it wasn't the marker that I set for myself. When you're living your passion, another thing is to set goals. Don't set something big and unreachable without making baby steps. Let me put it that way. Think and dream the impossible. Absolutely do that. But what are some doable steps that's going to get you to that? If your goal is to be a billionaire, it's not going to happen next week. We know this. I don't care what you do. It's not going to be. You're not going to be a billionaire, and you definitely won't hold on to the money if you fall into it next week. Just saying. However, if you say, I want to be a billionaire, what are the steps you're going to do to become a billionaire? How many houses do you have to clean? How many cakes do you have to bake? How many times do you have to multiply your efforts through other people in order to get where you want to be? Who needs to be sponsoring what you're doing for you to become a billionaire? How many sponsors do you need? Lots of good questions, right? So you take baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. New businesses. Nobody seems to want to take care, or not necessarily take care, want to sponsor new businesses. One, because you're new. No one knows what you're doing. No one knows if they can trust you. You haven't been around 30 years, 20 years, 10 years, 5 years. They don't know you. So you want to get out there and build relationships. Oh, I know you'll say that takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to build relationships. It does. It does. It takes time to build relationships. But guess what? When you build one relationship here, imagine that person has the number 272 right on their forehead. 272 other people that they know that you don't know. So make that one good relationship and get connected to those other 272 people to make other connections. It happens. It happens. And you have to be minding your business. And if outsourcing your children is something you need to do, that doesn't mean that you're always working and you're never doing anything with your kids. Maybe I'm boring myself. Excuse me. It doesn't mean that you're always doing something for work and not with your kids. Scheduled time. One thing that new business owners do is not schedule a vacation. Now, if you go apply for somebody's job, you want to know, how many days vacation do I get? Oh, I get 2 weeks. I already know how I'm going to do that. I'm going to do 4-day work weeks and take every Friday off. Or I'm going to take my kids to Disney World with my 2 weeks. So I'm going to spend 1 week here and I'm going to spend 1 week there. You have it all planned out when you get a job. Take that same mindset over when you're doing a business and say, where can I go? And maybe with your company, you can't go somewhere for 2 weeks that first year. Maybe you have to go somewhere for a weekend. Maybe you have to have what they are calling now a staycation. Maybe you have, oh, am I crying? Oh, moved with emotion. What you can do is a staycation where you're at home. No one knows you're at home, but you're having a mental health day. There's an eye doctor that I know. Every Friday, he calls it professional development. So he doesn't have any appointments on, I'm itchy today. Let me just get all my rubbing out. He has what is called personal development day. So he doesn't take any appointments. He may attend a seminar. He may take a class. I really don't know if he's doing anything at all, but he has a 4-day work week. And he takes Friday to utilize it for professional development. So if he's an eye doctor, he needs to find out what is the latest trends in eye care. What's going on? Am I going to do this? Do I need to get away from this product or service? He takes 1 day a week to do that. Man, 3 years ago, I didn't do that. I told you I'm just like itchy. Let's get that all out the way. I did not take time and say, there's 1 day a week I need to know more about the cleaning business. I did little stuff along the way. I may have stayed up late at night. I may have gotten up early, see what's online, read some books, network with other people who are doing things like I'm doing, and say, okay, I can make this better. If I've had a client ask me about something I wasn't too familiar with, I do some research, but I didn't have a day that I committed. I didn't even have like an hour that I committed to making what I did better. I was just going. It worked out. It worked out. I did that for a year, and then I went back to school. I couldn't continue my business and go to school, so I ended up working full-time in the school system. Thought I was going to be a 4th grade teacher, then I thought I would be a middle school teacher, then I thought, hey, I could teach anywhere. So education is what I like to do, and that's what we're doing today, educating you on living your passion, setting goals, and then setting aside time within those goals to say, hey, how am I going to make what I'm doing better? For me, being a talk show host, I have to say, okay, what are other people doing? So I'm watching to see what other people are doing. Do I like things that they're doing or not? And the things that I don't like, that I don't do them. The things that I like, find a way to do them my way if I really like them. Like Oprah has Living Your Best Life. I think I've heard that a lot lately, and it's really good. Living your best life, finding balance in your life. And then I was watching on Ustream Monique. She does something on Monday, I found out, and she was talking about natural or Western medicine and how it's different from, I bet I'm saying that wrong, Eastern medicine. Anyway, Asians. She went to an Asian spa, and they gave her some detoxification that they said is normal for them, and we treat it as a luxury, and these things could help us to be healthier and live longer, but we're treating them as a luxury. We'll get around to it. Well, she said that she has been exposed to some different things in her life that's making her life better, and so we're still looking at living your best life. And so by living your passion, you will have no choice but to live your best life. I'm just thinking about my profile picture. I know my hair is short. This is actually my hair, thick, and if it's weave, it's yacky nappy. But anyway, this is my hair. It's grown a lot since last year. I'm looking at that picture. But living your passion is worth making a sacrifice. Making a sacrifice of not having the stress of unnecessary stuff. If you're watching this video, you're probably going to a job most days that you don't like, and you could live without those people if given the opportunity. Well, give yourself permission. Live your passion. If you're living paycheck to paycheck anyway, you said I don't have enough money saved up, you live in paycheck to paycheck anyway, they can tell you tomorrow that they don't need you. Just like the person that got laid off today that I know. I don't know if there was any money saved up for such an occasion, but you didn't know on your way to work this morning that they would be sending you back home before lunch. Okay? As far as your living circumstances, if you're living in a house with people that are driving you bananas, or you're driving them bananas, and you don't have the finances to live elsewhere, you have a problem. So don't wait till you have enough money to live your passion, because if they let you go today, they didn't wait till you had enough money. They let you go. They couldn't use you anymore. So don't use the stress in your life anymore as an excuse, unless you just like complaining. Now, if you're passionate about complaining, stay where you are. But that's what I want to share today. Live your passion. Set goals. Set measurable goals to that impossible goal that you want to reach. Dream big, dream impossibly, and set some realistic goals to get to all of those things. Anyway, thank you for sharing this time with me. All of this needed to be said, so I thought I'd get on here this evening and share it with you. And until next time, we will talk about, I don't know, whatever else needs to be said. But thank you for joining me today. And today, in order for your dream to happen, you have to make it happen.
Hi, this is Inspire Walker, and I support This Needs to Be Said wholeheartedly. Number one, the host, Katherine Waddell. She is simply phenomenal. She supports so many people's visions and dreams, you know, anything that is helping them to become greater. For one, she supports me as an independent artist. I'm grateful she's playing my songs on her show. And number two, this needs to be said. They keep it real, saying what is on our hearts, or things that we're thinking that we may not be saying, you know, things that really do need to be exposed to help us to move towards greater, you know, in the world. So I just believe they're helping to make this world itself a better place. So yes, support This Needs to Be Said.
Come and get it, you want it. Come and get it right here. Come and get it for real. Just come and get it. Takes work, but you can get it. Takes time, but you can get it. Stop talking. Come and get it. Keep pushing, and you will get it.
Thank you for tuning in to This Needs to Be Said. I'm your host, Katherine Waddell, and we're on today with Dana Sidbury of MotivationMarketingFirm.com. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me.
Always, always. Now, I want to start at the beginning of your story. I want to know how you got into marketing. Marketing is one of the tasks that most business owners like. I don't want to do it. I'm going to throw something out there and then run, and hopefully all the people will come. So I want to know, why did you choose that as your business?
Well, I started in marketing in my business because of my family. I come from a family of entrepreneurs, and they've always asked me for questions, or how do I find this, or I need to get out there a little bit more. Can you do my business cards? I need to put something on the radio. And at that time, I didn't realize that it was marketing until I actually went to college.
Okay.
And I said, okay, not college, but even in high school, we were in DECA, and DECA is a business club, and we would always talk about marketing.
Okay.
And even then, and a lot of business owners can relate, you don't really understand what marketing is until you actually have a business. So after all of that, going to college and all that, I said, you know what, this is what I love. This is what I want to continue to do. So here I am.
Well, we've known each other, and neither one of us can really count, so it's maybe 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
But in your business, I want to know some of the things that have been most rewarding for you in working with people, helping them realize what marketing does for their business.
Well, the most rewarding part, rather, is seeing people grow from the beginning to the the grassroots era up until the biggest part of their business. The most rewarding part is the relationships like you and I have, and
yes,
I thank you. The relationships that I have, and being able to see each other. Like you said, we've been friends for a long time. I think 5 or 6 years. But I'm celebrating my anniversary this year. This month. It's 5 years, and being able to see everybody else that we started with, that our ideas came to fruition. That's the most rewarding part. Just seeing it grow from baby steps to adulthood. I love that part of it.
Wow. All right. Now give us your website where people can get in touch with you outside of this great interview, and if you do have any events coming up, let us know that.
Always. I'm at motivationmarketingfirm.com.
Today we're going to talk about skincare of the vulva. The vulva, the vagina, the general area down below in women. It's surprising to me how many women never learn the basics of skincare for their area. Remember, much of this is taught by your mother when you're a small girl, so if she wasn't trained correctly, the bad ideas are perpetuated throughout the generations. So let's go over some of the basics. The area is called the vulva and the vagina, and it should be cleaned with soap and water. It appears that liquid body soaps tend to be more irritating than bar soaps, so if you're having problems with irritation, switch to a bar soap like Dove or Dial, something bland for that area. Simple ideas like wiping. When a woman wipes, she should always wipe from front to back. It is surprising how many women of all ages do that incorrectly. Several pull forward. When you're doing so, bacteria from the back can get into the front accidentally and set up annoying discharges. So always remember front to back regardless of what's going on. Some of the other irritants that are commonly reported. Remember that women often come in claiming that they've had a yeast infection and the over-the-counter medications aren't working. Well, very often yeast is not the problem. Some of the common things that irritate women. Number 1, baby wipes, feminine hygiene wipes, cottonelle wipes. Although they're used and are marketed as a healthy product for down below, in many women it causes a tremendous amount of irritation, so please avoid those. We talked about liquid body soaps. Bar soaps are probably better for those women who are having symptoms. Thong underwear. They look great, but they tend to cause irritation when used for prolonged periods of time. So perhaps pick your favorite thong for your evening out, and perhaps even choose commando or no panties to give the area some air. Powders, lotions, sprays. I know there are a myriad of over-the-counter products that promote themselves to freshen the area. The area is not supposed to smell like flowers. So putting a flowery spray down there is not going to do anything for the problem you're having. If there is an odor down there, that's a bacterial infection. It needs to be treated with antibiotics. Douching is generally not recommended. However, if you have a hot date and you've just finished your period, perhaps that would be acceptable from time to time. But otherwise, douching is not meant to cleanse the area. In fact, it removes all of the good bacteria in the area, and although it may smell better for a day or two, it generally comes back with a more pungent odor after that. So avoid douching at all costs if possible. One other habit that women do is wear chronic use of panty liners and pads to feel fresh on a daily basis. In fact, those pads and panty liners trap moisture and may actually make it less fresh down there. So other than during the menstrual time, try and avoid the use of pads and panty liners. Now, we'll get into the topic of leaking in another discussion, in which case I understand that those pads are required, but for general freshness due to discharge, my recommendation would be to change your panties as opposed to wearing pads and panty liners all the time. Let's briefly talk about normal discharge. Normal discharge. After your period ends, the discharge should be very stretchy and snotty and mucousy and abundant. And this is caused by estrogen. It's a good sign, and that lasts for about 10 days to 2 weeks. And then the discharge becomes sort of white and milky, and this is the beginning of the effect of progesterone on the vaginal mucus, cervical mucus, and it becomes more of a white, milky look. And then finally, just before the period, the discharge dries up and is sort of a white, chunky discharge for about 3 to 4 days prior to your menses. So these are the phases of normal discharge across the cycle for all women. And it varies based on how healthy you are, how excited you are that month, and certainly where you are in your age as far as menopause. So hopefully that gives you some general ideas on vulvar care and what normal discharge is. If we can answer any more questions for you, contact us at bestsexualadvice.com or the Center for Sexual Health and Education. Thanks and have a nice day.
So Hope's Crossing came to be about 5 years ago. We launched Hope's Crossing. We thought about how we could impact women in our community to really find a way to help women move through some of the barriers that they were facing when they were experiencing difficulties in their life.
Being raised in the heart of South Phoenix, surrounded by drugs and alcohol, I became an addict to drugs.
Because of my addiction, I lost my family and I lost my children.
I was homeless, I was penniless, I was just out of prison, and I came here with nothing. Coming to Hope Crossing, they helped me figure out what my triggers were so that I could avoid being in that situation again, to use my tools, you know, to be able to be a strong woman and survive without drugs.
And our mission is really pretty intense, and so we really focus to empower, encourage, and create hope in women and their families that will allow them to rebuild their lives, reconnect with their children, and become personally and economically sustainable. And so we do all of that in a very holistic process of the classes, individual coaching that they may go through. So if those classes are happening once a week and they're going through challenges throughout the week before they get to class next week, they're able to call us and we kind of coach them through whatever those challenges are. The number of people that come out of prison and the percentage of those people that return to prison is sitting right now at about 75%. So 75% of the people that are released from jail and prison are going to return back to jail or prison within 3 years. You know, the last statistic that I read is there are 200 women coming out of prison every month. What Hope's Crossing is experiencing with the program we have is about a 9% recidivism rate. So only 9% of the people that are coming into Hope's Crossing actually return to prison, which are some tremendous, tremendous success stories.
I've been involved a couple of years. I went through the program and classes, which the facilitators are awesome people. You know, they really help you get down to the root of issues that cause, I would say for myself, speaking in singular, it causes me to relapse or to give up. So I graduated from from the program, the fundamentals. I graduated from there, and then I've just been involved, you know, ongoing.
It was like when you really want something, you know, this place is giving me, like, you know, family. It's made me feel like, you know, this is a place I can start a foundation.
I think that Hope's Crossing has continually made me stronger. The rehab and the AA focused only on my addiction. Now it's my transition to a normal life is what they're helping me with.
I have been an absent parent due to my addiction but just being back into their lives and being productive, and to see them smile and to continue to have trust and faith in me is one of the most rewarding feelings that I can ever experience.
When there's programs like this and you can use it to your advantage in every which way, just go for it. You know, I mean, you're gonna have a lot of things that are gonna be hard to deal with, but in order to go on, you have to deal with it. You have to deal with it.
Being able to provide more support to more people is truly our goal, and we can't do that without the support of our community.
My future looks in education, a career, a home, a family.
I have these visions of just a nice house, vehicle of my own, just my children in my life, just to enjoy them and see them grow and just be successful.
I was ashamed of who I was for a long time, and I'm very proud to say who I am today.
I want to be the kind of mother I always knew I could be, and it starts with being the kind of woman I know I am. So,
haven't seen my children yet, but I know it's coming and I'm okay with it. Yeah. Oh, I know it's going to be great, and I'm prepared. I'm prepared for it, and I'm prepared for it because of the things that I've learned and how to deal with them.
This program gives me a lot of hope. It gives me a sense of belonging. It gives me a desire to strive, even when all obstacles are against me. So I really, really do thank you guys.
So many people out there that need help. You know, I see people every day that were in the same place that I was.
For me, I would really like for our community to see these women as individuals that have a purpose and that really have value in life, and to not push them aside and see them as a throwaway population.
I would have never been able to do any of this without Hope's Crossing, and that's God's honest truth. Just having these beautiful women to mentor me and listen to me and guide me.
Read a quote that really stands out to me, and I'll leave it with you. It says, "The greatest tragedy in life is not death, but it's life without a purpose. And without you guys, I don't think we can do it."
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another show of In the Community TV. You know, we do this state to state, city to city, community to community. Right now, we're back in Washington, D.C., very happy to be back in this place. This is a monument of responsibility. This is a monument of legacy that we must understand that the torch is passed to us. There's some people in our community that don't understand the responsibility that comes with this. There's a gentleman right next to me understand that responsibility. He's been doing great things throughout his community, throughout the history that you've been participating in all the shows and all the community things. People don't see what you're doing behind the scenes. So today you're in D.C. and you're doing something that people normally don't see. Tell us what's going on.
Well, I've been privileged to been asked by two caring people who care about young people in the community and in a global sense, but certainly in their community. And the RP Card Foundation is concerned about education and enlightening young people to the challenges ahead, and anything that they can do in terms of scholarship, support of other organizations, support of schools, to bring that kind of education to young people. You know, I'm just honored to be here at this museum, the African American Civil War Museum, and look at the history, look at the weight, you know, to see the change, to see, you know, the struggle that my forefathers were able to endure so that I could be here today, you know, talking with you about trying to make a difference. So I'm in the right place. I love community. I love, you know, and I'm also interested in working with the with the people who are struggling. It's not just about the organizations that have it all going on. I belong to many organizations. I belong to the 100 Black Men of America. I belong to a lot of things because we're all doing good things. But when you have someone like Angela Newsom and Michael Newsom and their family who have taken it upon their shoulders, and I have to bring my shoulders because I know whose shoulders I stand on. And so to help them be successful and to reach something that's near and dear to me because I'm a parent, and I'm the son of a wonderful father and mother who did the best that they could to give me an opportunity. And here I stand after 54 years of doing something that I've grown to love in theater and film and all of that. I started when I was 14, and this spring will be 55 years that I've been so blessed. And the weight and the humility that has shaped me by my struggle, by the journey that I've had, culminates in me giving back.
That's something that we have to applaud you by because there's so many other things that you could be doing. A lot of people looking at you right now, they say this great actor for all these years have been doing what he's doing. I mean, you don't have to be doing what you're doing. I mean, and first of all, the fact that you're doing it, you're taking your time out, a big actor like you coming in the community, Washington, D.C., and say, hey, you know what? It's a responsibility.
When I see, because I visited the Veterans Hospital here in Washington, D.C., and to see the light go on of appreciation and of hope, in the eyes of these people who gave to their country, like the Civil War Museum here, and if those the forefathers could see me now, a result of what they did for me. But that's the kind of stuff that I just can't deny. I had to be here. I was compelled, and I just think spiritually that this day was written before I was born, and I just had to relax and try to enjoy the journey. And it wasn't always easy to enjoy the journey because it was always apprehensive. Am I going to work again? Am I doing what and always that drive to be excellent or to be as excellent as I could or to fake it even, because sometimes we have to fake it to make it. And wow, and now to be here present, right where I'm supposed to be.
Well, we want to appreciate you all so much. Saw you at the VA hospital yesterday. Again, didn't have to be there. You did what you have to do. Again, we want to appreciate him. Remember, it's all about supporting what people do in the community. I know you got to go, so we're going to cut it short. Hopefully we get a part two. Thanks you so much, ladies and gentlemen. It's your man, Abdul Shaheed Munir, with
Antonio Fargas.
Thank you for tuning in today to This Needs to Be Said. I'm your host, Katherine Waddell. I'm here today with Rhonda Nels of RhondaNels.com, and she is the co-author, one of the authors of Organized Obstacles, an anthology about underdogs. Underdogs are usually misunderstood, so today we're going to clear up some of that with the upcoming book, and we're going to talk with one of the authors. Thank you, Rhonda, for being a part of This Needs to Be Said.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Now, I want to get to the bottom of this story. Underdogs usually are not popular. They're the ones that people have counted out. So why did you decide to co-write a book about underdogs?
Exactly for that reason, Catherine. We wanted to spotlight people who may be misunderstood, mistaken, just people that you don't necessarily think have the power of resiliency in it, and really spotlight their talent and their service and their skills.
Okay, so this is the first one?
This is the very first anthology we're doing.
First annual, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, and how many people are you showcasing in this first one?
We have 12 contributors, myself, another co-creator, and we have about 11 contributors, 11 contributors, including millionaires, best-selling authors, great people with great stories.
Now, putting a book together is one thing, and everybody says, everybody has a book in them, and I'm going to write a book one day, blah, blah, blah. But you started this, and to me it sounds like it's going to be an ongoing project. But before I even drag you down that way, I want to know, how did you even come up to doing this? Like, what's your passion about it? Sure, the underdog is counted out, but why are you finding this to be something important that you must do?
Absolutely. So I had a magazine called The Push Report, and that featured various entrepreneurs that would contribute to the magazine, but I would always spotlight an underdog, somebody who paved their own path, somebody who the critics counted out, and they would be on the front page. And while the magazine no longer exists, we still wanted to spotlight the underdog, because that was the most popular feature. That was the reason why people were buying the magazine. So I wanted to turn this into a continuing anthology and bring people from around the nation, around the world, and bring their stories together in an anthology, kind of to just leave a legacy of underdogs, if you will.
So the next thing I want to know, especially the This Needs to Be Said audience needs to know this, where can they pick up a copy of this book?
They can go to organizedobstacles.com. And you can purchase right from our store online. It's also going to be available on Amazon Kindle, and then the print copy as well on Amazon. Or you can go to rondanails.com, and under my store tab, you'll be able to find that book there.
Absolutely. Now I'm going to drag you down that lane.
Okay.
Will there be a second and a third book?
Absolutely, absolutely. There's more underdogs out there. There are underdogs among us, and it's one of my jobs is to find them.
All right. And how can people become a contributor of that book?
They can contact me directly through my website, which is rondanails.com, and just fill out the contact form, and I will get back to them, if they're a good fit.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much for being a part of This Needs to Be Said.
Great, thank you.
Another day that I'm stuck up in my room, trying to run my way out, I hope this pretty soon. Way down, stuck up in the gloom, open up my computer and head right to the tube, and that's when I see you. Who is that right there? That has to be the baddest girl up in the atmosphere. Yeah, let's get it poppin' like some bubble wrap. Followed her on Instagram and I had to double tap. Damn, liked every one of her pictures and I had to follow her on Twitter, wishing that I could meet her. Never mind, wish I met her. Ain't no one that could beat her, and ain't nobody that's better. Right away you took the air out my lungs. Right away I knew that you were the one, and I feel a minute on my head to succumb. Heart going rum, pump, pump, pump. Come on, I know I'm unappealing, and you're one in a million, but you're the one I'm feeling.
Now everybody get your hands up, high 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 up. Get your hands up, high up, high up, high up, high up, high up, high up.
Raise your hands up, feel like you're the baddest girl in the world. You got 'em like, hey, 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 hey. I said put your hands up if you got the baddest girl in the world. You got 'em like, hey, 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 hey. Can't believe this is actually happening. How do I deal? I mean, I started wondering, is shit even real? But I mean, this should I go tell her how I really do feel? Oh, here she comes, here she comes. Hey, damn it, bro, there you go. What a plan? That's the best that you could think of, dude. Come on, man. I knew that I lost my chance, but couldn't just let it end. So I turned around and I grabbed her hand, and I was like, girl, on those sour days, you make my heart sweet. I'm not a dancer, but baby, you make my heart freeze. I know I'm unappealing, and you're one in a million, but you're the one I'm feeling.
Now everybody get your hands up, high 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 up. Get your hands up, high up, high up, high up, high up, high up, high up.
Raise your hands up, feel like you're the baddest girl in the world. You got 'em like, hey, 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 hey. I said put your hands up if you got the baddest girl in the world. You got 'em like, hey, 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 hey. Not just the way you pick me up when I'm about to fall. Not just the way you laugh when I ain't funny at all. Not just the way you elegantly flew from heaven with a pretty smile. And not just that, it took a while. Not just the way you talk, not just the way you walk, not just the way you are, it's the way you everything. I know I'm unappealing, and you're one in a million, but you're the one I'm feeling. Ladies, put your hands up, feel like you're the baddest girl in the world. You got 'em like, hey, 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 hey. I said put your hands up if you got the baddest girl in the world. You got 'em like, hey, hey.
For your dream to happen, you have to make it happen.
You ready? Come and get it. You want it? Come and get it right here. Come and get it for real. Just come and get it. Takes work, but you can get it. Takes time, but you can get it. Stop talking. Come and get it. Keep pushing, and you will get it. You hope and ask for great things when you dream. Watching others make it happen easily, it seems. But you don't see behind the scenes. It's called the real deal. You gotta make it happen now. That's keeping it real. You ready? Come and get it. You want it. Come and get it right here. Come and get it for real. Just come and get it. Takes work, but you can get it. Takes time, but you can get it. Stop talking. Come and get it. Keep pushing, and you will get it. You may have heard of faith without works is dead. If you're just depending on faith, you are misled. Even with the unseen working for you, you still have to give it your all and do your part too. You ready? Come and get it. You want it. Come and get it right here. Come and get it for real. Just come and get it. Takes work, but you can get it. Takes time, but you can get it. Stop talking. Come and get it. Keep pushing, and you will get it. You ready? Come and get it. You want it. Come and get it right here. Come and get it for real. Just come and get it. Takes work, but you can get it. Takes time, but you can get it. Stop talking. Come and get it. Keep pushing, and you will get it. And you will get it. And you will get it. You gotta want it. You gotta want it. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? You gotta want it. You gotta want it. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? You ready? Come and get it.
Hello, this is Vincent K. Harris, and I find it an honor to be able to teach something that I'm very, very passionate about, and that is business and personal finances. Many of you have seen me travel this great country and speak at different business conferences, universities, and corporations about the topic, or you may have seen me on social media at Vince Inspires. Well, I am here to help you guys, at least in my own small way, with business and personal finances specifically, on how it is that I think, how it is that I solve problems, and how it is that I look at finances in general. I hope you guys enjoy. We all have to solve financial problems each day. This is my 5-step system to solve any financial problem. Our society has taught us not to think. And what ends up happening is we find ourselves just doing things simply because that's what everyone else is doing. However, that's not really the proper way to go about doing things, especially financially, simply because you have to think at a higher level than you were thinking when the problem was originally created. Now, let's look at the formula as far as what I've used in my lifetime to create and solve any financial problem that's out there. Remember, we have to be thinking at a higher level than we were thinking when the problem was created. Step number 1 in solving any financial problem is that you must believe every problem has multiple solutions. Anytime you don't believe your problems have solutions, what you've done is you've made it a fact of your life, and that's really not true. A fact of life is something like your height or your race. Those are things that you cannot change. Problems by definition all have solutions. And if you don't believe your problem has a solution as relates to all of your financial problems, what you've done is you've now made it a fact of your life. And that's just simply not true. So again, you must believe, step number 1, that every problem has multiple solutions. Step number 2 is for you, the individual, to go somewhere by yourself and list all of the possible solutions to your current problem. You see, if your mind believes problems don't have solutions, it will automatically shut down and not search for one. Your mind will not do what God created it to do, but when your mind is awakened to the belief that your solutions are possible, it begins to move into action by creating them. What I'm saying is you have to believe it. Then you have to take action. List all of your possible solutions by yourself, alone by yourself, in your quiet time. Make sure you do not eliminate any idea that comes to mind, regardless of how wild you think it is. Because remember, if you kind of mold it and shape it, especially when you involve your financial empowerment team or your board of directors for your own personal life, what will end up happening is you may find a diamond in the rough. Now, speaking of your financial empowerment team, harvest ideas from that particular team. None of us are as smart as all of us. So by combining your thoughts with the thoughts of others, you will come up with thoughts you've never had before. Explain your problem to your team completely, then allow them to brainstorm and harvest ideas as a team. But this is the key. Don't allow them to know the solutions or the potential solutions you've come up with just yet. Keep those to the side and just allow those guys and their minds to run just as wild as you did in the previous step. Remember, in step number 3, we're taking our problem to our financial empowerment team to come up with potential solutions. But this is the key. Make sure you give them all the facts available at that particular moment, because you cannot make right decisions with wrong information. And the good thing about being an adult and having a financial problem is that it's an open book test in life. So you don't have to hide anything. This is not the time to be embarrassed. This is the time to say, I need you guys to help me. And we can't get a failing grade simply because it's an open book. We're all striving for the same goal. So make sure you're upfront, you're honest, and remember, you cannot make right decisions with wrong information. Step number 4 is to put your ideas in order of priority. You see, now that you have a list of your possible solutions and a list from your financial empowerment team, it's easy to get busy. Review 2 lists, the 2 lists that you've currently made, that being the one that you did by yourself and the one that you came up with your financial empowerment team. And make sure you have a clear understanding of each idea on the list. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to put them in order of priority, in the order that you feel as a group provides you the best possible option to solving your current problem. Creativity is a logical combination of 2 or more ideas that eventually turns into a new concept. So what am I saying here? Make sure during this time that the room is free of judgment. The room is free of ideas that don't flow. You want to make sure the environment is conducive of thinking and creativity so that you guys can come up with the best possible list or the best possible solutions you possibly can. Now remember, sometimes you may end up combining 1 or 2 ideas that alone were not really good, but when you combine them together, it creates a possible and powerful solution for your particular financial problem. So the bottom line is, in step number 4, make sure the environment is full of creativity. Step number 5 is to just do it. I know it sounds very simple, but we have to learn to take action in our lives. So this is how you're going to do it. Try each successive possibility in order of priority until a solution is found. If all possible solutions are exhausted without a problem being solved, find a professional who specializes in solving the type of financial problem you have. Remember this principle. Doing nothing only strengthens your problems and weakens your solutions. You must believe that every problem has a solution. That's great. But you also have to be willing to take action. Take action in your life today to know that these problems can be solved and they will be solved. Surround yourself with the right people. Make sure you take the necessary action, and when, not if, but when you get out of that particular situation, look back, think back, and help someone else in the same situation.